Hey guys, it's Chris at Highline Guitars, and it's time for a Luthier's quick tip. If you like building or repairing guitars, join the club by tapping the subscribe button down below, and together we can take your luthier skills to a whole new level. If you want to paint a guitar with metal flake or metallic paint, there's something really important that you need to try to do. And it doesn't matter whether you're spraying with a rattle can or a spray gun, or if you're using a water-based metallic or a solvent-based metallic. You have to be aware of the fact that those fine little tiny metallic particles, and they can range in size from extremely small, which is what you find in metallic colors, to fairly large, which is what we see in metal flake. But those little flakes can wreak havoc on the area where you're applying the paint. So if you're spraying in your workshop, or even if you've got an industrial strength spray booth, those little metallic particles can float around in the air and get all over everything. Workbenches, tools, your skin, your clothing, your hair, it can get everywhere. And if you're making, let's say, a bunch of different guitars, and let's say one day you're spraying metallic and then the next day you're spraying a solid non-metallic color, there's a good chance, if you don't take the right precautions, you're going to see some of those little metal flakes appearing in your solid non-metallic colors. So what you've got to do, and this is what I recommend, is that you section off the area where you're going to be spraying and isolate it from the rest of your spray booth or your workshop. That way you can contain those particles which you'll see floating in the air. It's commonly found in the overspray. As you're spraying, even if you're using a good quality HVLP gun and it's set up properly, at a certain point, the distance between the nozzle and the surface you're spraying can exceed the ideal, and what ends up happening is you get overspray, and when you get that overspray with a metallic or a metal flake, those tiny little particles will separate from the liquid and just float in the air, and then they drift all over, and they can get all over everything. So if you isolate an area in your shop, and the way I do it is I pick up a bunch of these plastic drop cloths, and I get a package of 5 of them. And what I'll do is I will take several of those, and in a corner of my workshop, I'll build a little room, sort of like a big open tent. And I'll go inside there and spray my metallic. And I try to spray as few coats as possible. And I do that by applying a complementary base color first, and that's usually a non-metallic color. Then I'll spray my metallic over the top of that. And I can usually, if I do it right, I only have to spray like 2 coats of metallic, so that in itself reduces the amount of overspray and metal particles in the air. But then once I'm done, I will carefully dismantle that section so as not to disturb a lot of the particles that have come to rest on the surface of the plastic. And then I'll dispose of it, throw it away. So that's this week's quick tip. Be aware of the potential for the little metal particles in your metallic paint and your metal flake. It can get everywhere, and it can really cause problems in your workshop and your spray booth. So with that, take care. We'll see you soon.